Hi art students, it's time for another week of art class, and today we're going to finish up our can drawing. So I hope you're having fun times at home. Probably gets kind of boring over there, but I hope you're keeping busy, and I hope your art is happening over there. So let's get started on our art project. Okay, art students, this is our last week on this can, and if you haven't been using color already, I mean, you can use color. We're gonna tighten up our drawing. Here's my can. I'm just gonna put it off camera. I can see it though. Don't forget, you're gonna look at your can and you're gonna draw your can. I'm just drawing mine, so mine's right over here. um, One more thing, don't forget to put your name on the back of your paper. You're going to put your name, and then you're going to put your class, the first letter of your teacher's the first letter of your teacher, and you're going to circle it, right? That way I know, well, what class you're coming from, because I'm going to get a lot of these. And then don't forget, when you finish your can drawing, I need to see it for your grade purpose. So what you're going to do is you can submit it to Canvas, and you just need to submit the final drawing. You don't have to do all 3 weeks. I have it available that you can submit for all 3 weeks, but I really only need to see the final finished can drawing. So what you're going to do is, if you have an iPad, you can take a picture of it. You could submit it to Canvas. You can have a parent help you. If for some reason your internet is super slow, or I don't know, sometimes there could be problems with that, you can have a parent take a picture of it and they can email it to me, or submit it to Canvas, or you can just bring it to school and put it in my mailbox. I don't have my big art folder anymore, because our art supplies got simplified for what we're doing at home, but you can still give it to Karen Garcia. She is our, she's our person up front there, and or she'll probably just direct you to put it into my mailbox, or she'll just collect it and give it to me when I walk in. So, but anyways, make sure your name is on the back. It's really important that your name's on the back, because if your name's not on it, I won't know that it's from you, right? So, uh, make sure you turn it in. Either take a picture and send it to me, submit it to Canvas, have a parent take a picture of it and submit it to me, or just bring it to school. You just bring it to school. You can have a parent bring it to school or whatever, and then I'll actually, I'll see it that way. So however you want to turn it in, great. Okay, so now we're on the final part of this drawing, where I call it tightening up. And what happens is this actually looks pretty good. Like, this is almost tightened up, in quotes, tightened up, meaning I want things to be more accurate. Like, this is where I really go in there and I really, make my lines a little more careful. I can shade a little more carefully. I'm basically making everything more precise. And so that's what it means to tighten it up. It's kind of like you're finishing up your drawing. And I still need to add color. So I think maybe I'll start with color. I haven't talked much about color. So I'll do that right now. And then don't forget, this is for remote students. If you are coming to school, then we're actually doing a different art project. So you don't have to do this if you're coming to school. Okay. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to start with this blue now. So this blue, let's see. I got 2 blues for my Pepsi. I'm looking at my can, and it looks like it's really just this. This lighter one, it would be nice. I mean, you could use more than one blue, but it really just looks like it's really just this value, or this color. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna start off lightly, and I'm gonna color this part blue. Why? Why am I starting off lightly? Because it's easier to go darker, and I want to have a nice light base color where it's supposed to go. So here we go. I'm starting off light. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken my values in this blue. Let's see. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this first, and I'm going to add the red. Boy, I'm saying all the wrong colors today. Okay, so that's like a real light value of blue. Now I'm gonna go for red. Let's see. Here's red. I have to kind of spin this thing. I got that chisel, right? So that'll help me more broadly apply this color. Because I have little like wrinkles and shapes, I can almost color one shape at a time. That might help me. It might help me color them in more neater and more solid. It's hard to color a big area. Like even here, I kind of broke it up. Like I broke up this area up to the highlights, right? I colored this area or shaded. Okay, let's see here. Oh, that's it. This is the big white crease in the middle. Okay. Maybe I'll start with red since I have red right here. Okay, so I started with my light value. Let's see. Then I want to go darker. So let's see. I'm looking at my can. Here, should I just show it to you? There. So you can kind of, this might help. So let's see. Let's talk about the shading here. So I'm looking right here. It looks like there's a little highlight right here, and then there's a shadow. So let's see. Originally it was kind of like this. So this is the white lighter part. So this is darker. Just a little though. So that value is like, let's see, well, let me add that value. It's like kind of darker here. And that's like right here. And so that value is kind of like a 3 or a 4 almost. That's like a 3. Well, it's a 3, but it goes to a 4. Okay, and then up here it's kind of darker, so it's kind of like this. Now remember, your can might look different, but what I'm doing is I'm making these values darker. There's like a little bump here too. And it's a little darker here. Alright. Okay, and then I'm going to shade this. I want to blend it so that it blends. And then this will blend too. There's a little bit of a lighter spot in the middle here, so I'm going to kind of blend this lightly. At the dark part, I press down a little harder, but then it gets a little lighter. Here it's darker. Okay, and then here, darker. So even in this little red area, there's all kinds of different values because of the creases and the wrinkles in the can. Okay, and then this needs to be a little darker. Okay. But you can see I build it up slowly, and then it looks like maybe this could be a little darker. Okay, and then this can be a little darker too. And then let's see, there's a little bit of a dark spot right here. So that's a lot. That's a lot to keep in mind here. Now watch, see how this is really dark right here? I want to kind of try to blend it into this value. So I just lightly kind of continue from that dark spot. Well, here it's a little darker, and then a little lighter. Like I don't press down as hard, and I try to blend it into, same here. So this is like, I want to blend this. So I go a little lighter on top, and I kind of combine it with the other dark values. And let's see if I can blend it here. I'm trying. That looks pretty good. This needs to be darker, and then blend. Darker. And then I let go of my pencil so that's not so, it's hard to see. You can't see me. Like I press down harder on the dark part, but then as I use my pencil marks away from it, I kind of don't press down as hard. And it kind of makes it, my pencil line not so dark, and it blends it a little. Okay, good. And, okay, that's pretty good. Wow, that's kind of neat. Now I'm just going to very lightly, the red goes right up to the edge. There's like this, you know, that's like the edge of the circle, even though the circle is all twisted and stuff, but I want that to be neat. and then it's going to go like that. Okay, and then I can maybe even shade a little bit from that neat line. Let's see. Okay, well, okay, so there it is. Now it actually gets a little darker in there, so I can try, I guess I'm going to try a little bit of black here, especially right here. You can kind of see it, so let's see what I can do here. I don't want to add too much black. Let's see here. So I'm going to start lightly. Okay, and then I'm just going to go a little lighter so I can blend it a little. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then maybe a teeny bit darker here. Okay, good. And then it's darker here. I'm going light. I'm not going too dark yet. And then, boy, it's kind of dark in here too. It's kind of like a gray. Okay. It's darker here too. Just a little bit. I could have used brown too. I could have started with brown. Actually, this black was working pretty good, but I think I told you last week. He's like, ah, you could use brown. Why brown instead of black? Because brown is a color. But I probably would have used both. I probably would have used like a little bit of brown and a little bit of black. But I don't know. Looking at this, the black, if you don't use too much black, it's not too bad. It's a little darker here. All right. If I was at art school, you would even go further. You would like spend hours doing this. It's ridiculous. You would go in. It would take forever. It would look amazing when you're done, but that's kind of the point of, like, at art school, it's like you make this like it's like a photograph by the time you're done, and you can achieve that. It just takes hours. Like, you know, I don't expect you to work on this for like hours, but it would, like, you would just spend forever kind of working on this thing. Let's see, do I see that part? It's kind of like it kind of wrinkles. You just spend forever noodling and very carefully shading and looking super carefully at your can or whatever your subject matter is, and you're just like, you just spend forever doing it, and eventually it looks like a photograph, or it looks amazing. So, but you can see that looks pretty neat. That looks pretty good for just a video, you know. So not bad. So it just takes time. Okay, there's a little bit of shadow in here in the white, so I'm just going to do that while I'm here. So let's see. And then it's kind of like there's like a little white wrinkle here, and then this is kind of like, I'm going lightly, right? And then I'm going to blend it in with a very light value first. And then it looks like, no, this kind of goes higher. And then look right here. Okay. It's not perfectly white in there because it's crinkled in. It's like a cave. So it is white, but I don't want it to be I don't want it to be number one value. I want it to be like in between 1 and number 2. So that's not super bright in here. Like this would be super bright because the light's hitting it. So that would be like a 1. Well, it would be a 1 on the spots where there's a highlight. So like, actually, I'm looking at this. It should be gray a little bit. But in here, it's like inside. It's shadow. So this wouldn't be perfectly white. It would be like in between 1 and a 2, or maybe a 2. So I'm kind of shading that here. And then this is a little darker, so I'm going to shade that. Okay. All right. That's pretty good for now. Okay, so now let's go to the blue. Okay, so blue. So blue gets really dark. You can kind of see it right here. It's pretty dark. So let's see here. Let me look here. So there's like a highlight here. And this is like, and then it's like, let's see. Well, remember, my can is different than yours. So there's like a little bit of a highlight here. And I already have my light blue there, although it's like even darker than that. And then this is like dark here. And then it's like dark here. And dark here. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of little details in there. Okay, and then let's see here. So let's see here. This is dark. And it gets pretty dark to about right here. So let's see, I'm going to fill this in. And it gets really dark, so I'm going to be able to use that black. So I'm going to fill this in blue. This is kind of the same color as this, right? Hmm. Okay. I want this to be solid, this color, mainly because it's dark. So I really kind of get it in there. I can press down harder here. Okay, and then here, it's still dark. Here, it's a little lighter. And then, but there's some wrinkles here. So there's kind of a wrinkle here. And there's kind of a wrinkle here. Kind of like that. Okay, and then this is still kind of dark. It's not super light. So I'm going to kind of fill this in. Even this is kind of not so bright. And even this. So I'm looking at the value. Oh, it's hard for you to see. But this should be darker. It's not as dark as this. But it is dark. I'm going to have to use some black for this. Okay. Okay, and then this I need to blend. There. Let's see. It's pretty dark there. In fact, this is almost too light. So let's see here. Okay, and then this should be darker. Can't press down. Okay, so this is as dark as I can get with this blue. No, it's pretty dark. Let's see here. But I want to blend it here still. Okay, and again, I press down lighter when I get over here because this is like kind of the highlight. All right. Should be a little darker. Okay. Okay, so this should be darker. So now I'm comparing this part to this, and it's pretty dark here, so this needs to be darker. So I'm going to do it. And I still need to add some black. So this should be a little darker. Okay, and then let's see here. Okay. Boy. Okay. Okay, and I want to get this, I want this to be fine edge, right? I want this to, see how it doesn't, here it's a sharp edge around that blue, so I'm going to very careful, I'm not going to go super dark, but I want that to be sharp edge. That's tightening it up right there. And then like over here, it's a little soft, so I'm going to kind of go along that edge. Not too dark. I don't want it to be a pencil line. Like, I don't want it to be like an outline. I just want it to be that same color, like, but a sharper edge. There. If that makes any sense. Okay, so that looks nicer. And then this is kind of going to come up here. Okay, now I'm ready for the black. I think I do need, let's see, can I even go darker with this blue? I think so. So let me do that. Not too dark though, but it is darker. My pencils are rolling towards me. Let's see here. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay. It's getting, I don't want to get too dark here. Let's see. Well, let's see. Let's see. Okay, and then this should be darker. Okay, okay, all right. Okay, so now I really want to get darker here. So here it's okay. So now I'm looking to see. Oh look, you know, and I'm looking at my can, and it looks like this should be bigger. So let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna blend it a little. Okay, so here we go. Shadow, black. Ooh, my black's not showing up very well. Okay, and then darker in here. Okay, but you can see it's helping. I need more black here. There's not much paper for my black to kind of stick to because I got so much solid blue there. But you can see it's darker. Okay, I can't get it as dark as I want it to go. Okay, just a little darker here. Okay, a little darker here. But you can see by combining the black and the dark blue areas, not all the way, just in the darkest spot of that shadow, it can get pretty dark here. And let's see, this is going to be a little darker. Okay, well, I don't know. That's pretty good. Let's see, I'm looking at this. There's a little bit of black in here too, so I can go like darker down here maybe. See, up here it's a little brighter because the light's hitting it. So, but it's a little darker in that part of the Pepsi. Subtle, you know. Okay. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, so now it's time. I'm almost done here. I just want to tighten it up. I'm not going to completely tighten it up because, like I said, I could spend hours and hours and hours and hours. But I do want to make some. I'm going to just put my can over here. So I want some things to be darker. So this is where you kind of look at your overall piece. Like this needed to be a little. This needed to have a little bit of value in it. I didn't do that last time, so I've kind of discovered that while I was looking at that. So let's see. This is going to have a little more. I'm only, like, there's still some white in there, so I'm leaving some white areas. That's where the highlight is, but I'm looking at my can. I'm not just making this up. I'm kind of looking at, so this would be the shadow area. And then there's a little bit of white, you know, over here. Okay. And then let's see, there's a little bit of shadow here. I'm observing, right? Okay. Okay, so that's a little better. Let's see. Notice I have these lines. And sometimes you can see these lines, like in my can. I can't really see my can. But sometimes you can try to blend it a little. Now, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to blend this. Because there really, we have lines to draw our can, but there really is no lines. I did make you put a line around the outside of your can, for sure, because that kind of helps separate it from the background, right? Oh, I could do a shadow. Ooh, do I want to do that? Yeah, I probably do want to do a shadow. But anyways, my point is, if you have lines in here, if you can blend them away, like, so here it is. Let's see, I'm looking at my can. The top of my can does kind of have this line. But if I can blend it a little so it looks more like just shading, it'll look more natural. Let's see. Like this. I don't know how I'm going to get rid of that. I can blend from that line. And it kind of makes that line disappear. So instead of a line, it's just shading. And shading feels more natural. Natural meaning more realistic, I guess. But natural meaning not artificial. Like, you don't use lines to... There's not lines around things in life. Not really. That's a drawing thing. Okay, so I'm kind of extending the shadow down to match that line. See, already that looks kind of nicer. So here you can see that already looks nicer than this. Oh boy, so let's see here. I gotta bring this down. It's like, can I erase that? Not really. It's okay if you have a little bit, you can leave it. And if you have lines, like drawing all your stuff, don't worry about it. I mean, it's okay. You're learning. But if you can't, like, get rid of things like this by shading them, or, you know, bring your shading up. It looks, let's see, I gotta kind of blend this. So I'm going very lightly and I'm trying to blend it not as much so that my shadow kind of blends into that other shadow carefully. Okay, let's see. This was originally that. Okay, so this is originally, it looks like it's a blue line. Okay, so this is a blue line. I'm going to kind of make it a blue line. Let's see, this would be blue. This is like the nutrition. Okay, see, that's tighten it up. You're looking at the little details like that. Oh, and there's stuff down here too. This is all, oh boy, am I going to do this? I don't know. There's like all kinds of little, you can kind of see the back of the can. There's all this little information. Well, if I was in art class, you'd actually copy all that perfectly. Like, I'm talking art college, right? Um, but what we can do is, and it's hard to do that. I mean, you can go for it. If you can see the words, write them down. I'm going to kind of fake it. Like, I'm just going to kind of put it where there looks like there would be letters there. Obviously, it looks better if it's actually the words, but I don't want to copy that down. We don't have time. I'm gonna put some of that there, and there's some like lines here. There's some of that information. Okay. But that's in blue because it's I'm looking at my can and that happens to be in blue. Okay, finally, let's see. Tightening it up. Like, look at that. See how that abruptly stops right there? So I'm gonna see if I can blend it a little. Blend it so it's a little smoother. Here's like another abrupt stop. Blend it a little more. Blend it. Sometimes it does have. I mean, you look at your can. I mean, is that the way it's behaving? Then that's fine. But like, I'm just gonna blend it a little. I'm kind of looking at it's a little smoother. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I am gonna do that. I'm gonna do a shadow. So I'm looking here. Here you can kind of see my shadow. All right. So now again, it's lightly. I'm gonna lightly. If you don't have room for a shadow, don't worry about it. Like if you made your can really big, great. But I have a feeling I did my can pretty big, and I still have room for a shadow. So here we go. I'm gonna kind of try to draw it. I'm drawing it lightly, right? And then I'm gonna shade it. Let's see. I want the shading to go in one direction. So my pencil marks are in one direction. I'm going lightly. Look at that though. See how where it overlapped, it got darker. But that's okay. I'm just gonna, this is the beginning, right? Now, one thing is I want this line to disappear, right? Because that's artificial. So I'm just gonna try to blend that into my shading. I guess my shading is just gonna get a little darker here. Ugh. Can't even get that thing. There we go. There. And then I'm gonna try to make everything kind of like this value. Okay, and I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna try to connect that. This is not easy. There, that looks better. See how it's there. Oh, I can't believe I got it. That was amazing. Okay, so that's difficult, right? But that's okay. That's what you want to try. I mean, if it's not perfect, don't worry about it. We're learning, right? Okay, so I have one tone for my shadow. And let's see. It's hard to tell. I don't have a lot of light on this. Typically, though, it's a little darker right under the can. Although let's see, it doesn't look like there's any reflections coming back up. So typically it's a little darker here, and then it gets lighter as the shadow gets away. Um, I'm looking at mine. It's kind of like that. So I'm just going to make it a little darker directly underneath the can, and that's probably a good idea. The shadow's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to make it a little darker, so it's a little darker value, so that the shadow, and I want to be a little darker here too. There would be an edge, or not an edge, but it would be prominent. There'd be a prominent shadow line at that edge of that can. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to very carefully blend this so it's a little darker near the can. All right, let's see. I'm going to very carefully there. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. Now let's see. So I'm looking at my can, and there is a lot more complicated little wrinkles and bends in my can. It looks like I can go a little darker too. So you might have a lot more wrinkles and creases in your can. That's totally fine. Let's see. Where's this? Okay, that's right. So this is kind of like, see, this actually bends. Oh, I don't know. But that's what you want to do. The final steps is you want to say, oh, does this area need to be darker? Okay, I'm just going to very carefully make it darker. Do I need another little wrinkle here? Okay, then I'll do it. I don't know, but I think mine's pretty good here. It looks like, yeah, I'm going to keep it at that. Okay. I could make this darker. This is my darkest value. Especially, you don't want to leave like there's no, like, see this little white spot? I want to color those in. You might be looking in, there might be a lighter value, like light shining in your can, and it might be a little lighter value over here. If that is, then do that. Mine looks pretty dark, so I'm gonna go right along the edge so that it has a neat, sharp edge. Okay. Let's see here. This looks pretty good. Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop there. But that's it. So we did our can, and mine looks pretty light. I could have probably gone darker in some areas, but that's okay. Next time. If I had more hours, I would do that. I would like make these things darker. But you can see, but that was a lot of work for you guys to do. So good job. I would definitely want to see what your can looks like. I want to see the colors. You can see how it's a lot of fun adding the different values and the shadows. Like in the blue, it's not just one blue. It's not just one blue. There's like, it's like darker and lighter values, right? Darker. And then there's a little bit of black in there when it gets really dark, and then, you know, stuff like that. So you want to keep in mind when you're coloring that stuff. I don't have a lot of color. But if you had a big red can, you would have done this kind of everywhere. Instead of doing all this gray, you could do red. If for some reason you have a red can and you did it in gray first, which you weren't supposed to, you could probably put the red on top of it. Like, and it'll just kind of mix in with some of your shadows that you already have. If you did it that way, that's totally fine. And then maybe you're just using a number 2 pencil and you don't have any color. That's okay. This will still be darker. If you're using this all in pencil and like not colored pencil, you have to look like, what value is this blue? This blue is pretty dark. So it's definitely like a 4, like a 3.5 and a 4, and then maybe some 5s. So it's just going to be dark. Like, you can tell that this blue is darker than the rest of this can. So don't, like, this wouldn't be light if you're doing this in pencil. It would be like a dark gray, and then this would be a gray, but not, this gray would not be as dark as this blue, because you can see, like, you can kind of squint and you can see, oh yeah, that's definitely darker than this. So like maybe the red would be like 3.5 to 4, whereas the blue is like maybe 3.5 to 5. Like, it gets kind of like, and then most of it is 4, you know? So this is a little darker than that. You got to kind of squint and see that. You have to kind of interpret the color of your can into gray value. So you just kind of, I close one eye. I close one eye, kind of helps you focus. It flattens out what you're looking at. You're like, oh, that's like maybe 3s and 4s. Maybe that's like a 5 in there. But anyways, you definitely can do this in just grayscale pencil. But you can see how much more fun it is to have color. So like I said, I keep telling you, if you have colored pencils, you definitely want to add, even if it's not a lot of color. Like, I don't have a lot of color. I just have a little bit of blue and red, a little bit of blue over here. But that really makes it fun. So I think it would have been more fun if this whole thing had color. Like if it was a giant like a regular, like a not a diet, like a regular Pepsi can was all blue. That'd probably be a lot more fun. Or like a Coke can where it's all red. That would have been fun too. But anyways, that's the end of our project. So I hope that your results, I hope it got more fun the more detail you added and the more careful you were and the more stuff you put in. But I definitely want to see it. So submit it or drop it off at school or just take a picture and email it to me. Or like I said, submit it to Canvas, and I'll look at it. So thanks for that, and I hope you have a good week, and I'll talk to you next time when we have a new project we're going to do. It's likely going to be another drawing project like this, but different. So we'll focus on different things, but it'll be like, and the thing is, if you had a hard time with this, then we'll get more practice and it'll look better next time. So anyways, have a good week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.